Hey guys, Shawn, Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is live number 49. I know it's lunchtime. A lot of you are eating. You're having your protein drink. You're having your salad, but you're also going to learn something. You're going to gain some value. That's the goal of why I do this every single day. The Connection Conversation Show is important to me because I want to make sure you're getting value, you're learning, but I also want you to implement and take action for the things that you learn from us today. Let me bring my guest on. Michelle Pais, what's going on?
Hi. Good morning now. Good afternoon. I don't
Good
even know what time it is
afternoon.
anymore.
Let me move it to this for now. Whew. How's everything going? How's the quarantine life? This is a whole different ball game, right?
It is. It's interesting. You know what? As humans, it's unbelievable how adaptable we are. So it's been going good. It's been going good for the most part.
No, it's awesome. And it's always an opportunity. You have now more time. So the more time on your hands, you could do a lot of things that, when we used to say, I don't have any time. Now you have all the time in the world to
Yeah.
try different things as well. So that's a cool thing to have, I believe, in being around family, etc. And yes, you got to make sure you have your gloves and your mask on if you go out, which my wife and I, we just stay in. We don't go out. We have deliveries coming to the house and that's it. But
Oh
that's
wow, you're
so
very
important.
quarantined.
Oh, we just make sure it's because the most important thing is our daughter has the liver transplant a year ago, so her immune system is compromised. So God
Yeah.
forbid I go out and bring it home. That's not what I
No,
want to do.
no. Of course, you have to be safe.
Oh,
Understand.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
But I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day for my community so they know who you are. Can you give us a little introduction of who you are, Michelle?
Uh, okay, great. I don't love talking about myself, but my name is Michelle Pais. I'm a real estate agent broker. I am the CEO of Signature Realty, but mostly I am the team leader of the Michelle Pais Group. That's what I focus on mostly. My husband John Steingraber runs the brokerage aspect of it. And he's really the director of operations for Signature. But I'm mostly involved with the Michelle Pais Group. That's my team. I have a small team, a team of 9, including myself, and yeah, we kick ass selling real estate. That's what we do. We're having a lot of fun.
No, that's the way to go. And having a team is so important, right? That's the only way to really scale, and you're helping and using others. That's what
Yeah.
a benefit, right? And these are all friends probably you're working with on your team.
Yeah, no, they're great. I love my team. I mean, they were handpicked by myself. Culture to me is so important. So we don't really like to just hire anybody. A lot of them were friends. A lot of them, some of them were friends. Others just they came from Signature. So I kind of got to know them on that aspect. I got to know a little bit about more about them, about their work ethic, and I just like them. So everyone on the team they're just great people and have a good soul. To me, that's everything. Like I need people that are good, that are honest, that are humble, that have a good heart, and that have a great work ethic, and most of all, a team player. So I've accomplished that, and I'm really grateful for it.
So, why did you get into real estate? Was this something that you loved beforehand, or what was one thing that clicked and like, oh, I got to get into this?
Yeah, and actually, it was a backup plan. I never, you don't grow up saying, I want to be a real estate agent. I want to do sales. Like that's not what I wanted to do at all. I actually wanted to be an attorney. I wanted to be a lawyer. So I was actually going to school, and I worked full time at a local real estate brokerage as a secretary because I needed to pay for my education. So I went to school for time full time. I worked as a secretary full time, and I just got to really know the ins and the outs of the business. And I would see people and agents interact and how they were doing things. And I was like, this is something that I think I'll be really, really good at. So I got my license purely as a backup plan, just in case law didn't work out. And then I guess within the first year, not even, maybe the first 7 or 8 months of getting my license, I ended up selling. I was the rookie of the year for that year, and I ended up selling 25 homes, I think, and I was 21. And I was like, wow, I made great income, but most importantly, I just loved what I do. So I guess my very first sale, I'll never forget, it was a 4 family. in Union, New Jersey, in the Vauxhall section, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. But the buyer didn't know that, so that was good. And then when I closed it, it was just I had such a great. It was like a euphoric feeling, like this is what I want to do, and it just going to school. I had a passion for law, but it wasn't that excitement. It didn't, it wasn't, you didn't get the chills, I guess. But when I saw my first house, I did. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. So that's how I knew this was meant for me.
No,
And
that's
I've been
awesome.
loving it ever since.
I mean, you can see the passion in the way you explain that. That's important. I believe more passionate you are, you're going to share that with everybody, and it exudes. It's the energy you have that's who you need to work with. That's awesome. So I really appreciate the energy, the passion that you have for business and helping people. That's what we're all really into, right?
It's all about helping the people and loving what you do. And honestly, like it's strange because I must have gone on. I joke with my team and my clients. I must have rang over 3,000, 4,000 doorbells in my life, and and every listing appointment I go on, it's like it never gets old. Like I'm excited about it. Sellers see the passion I still have, and I've been doing this for a really long time. So I think, and here's what I can say: it's when you stop loving what you do, that's the problem, right? So until now, I'm loving what I do. I wake up every morning with a smile on my face. I can't wait to get out there and just do business and really just help people, educate, be that thought leader, be that person, be that mentor for my team. I mean, that right now is what I'm doing, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when you have someone call you for a listing or a buyer, you just drop everything and just go out with that person, or is there a
Yeah.
system that you have in place? Can you talk about something about your systems that some people can learn something from you on this front?
Yeah. So I do a lot of um I fact check, and I also do a lot of um what's the word I want to try to get out. Like I make sure that when I do get the calls that these are real real people, because I do have a lot of marketing in place, and I have billboards with my face on them. So a lot of the calls aren't real calls or legit calls. So I'm always weary of who's calling me and who I'm walking into and what I'm walking into, and I've had a couple of those weird occasions. So now I do definitely screen them. So I do a lot of screening, and I just make sure that they're ready, able, and sellers, and they're serious. So once I do that, so I don't just drop everything and go. No, everything is scheduled by appointment. I make sure that they're serious, and those are the ones that aren't. I already know that they're not the real deal, just by having a lot of questions, not only to the sellers, to the buyers. I'm more of a listing agent. I'll be honest. I focus more on getting listings. I don't have the time to run around with buyers just because I'm so busy doing that. So a lot of my team picks up all of that. And my team gets a lot of listings too, especially, again, I can't be in all places at all the time. So, I have a sphere, I have a niche, I have a market that I like to service. And I definitely have an amazing team that can, that helps out a lot. I mean, they're great. So, yeah, I'm not going to say I'm picky or I'm choosy. I'm just very, I screen them.
Yeah.
And when you get to a point where you've been doing this for so long, you just know if they're real, or they're just, they just want to meet you, or just, I don't know, who knows what's going
No,
on, for people's
100%.
head. Especially during quarantine. I screen them beforehand. Sometimes I'll just get on a Zoom call and make sure I know who I'm dealing with.
That's important. Having the Zoom call now, you can see people, and that should be something everyone should be starting to do. Even going outside when we're done with quarantine and we're back to normal, you should still be doing that because it's a great way of communicating. Instead of just picking the phone up or texting or email, you can hear and see the passion in somebody and who you might want to work with. That's so important today, I believe, for sure.
Yeah,
And
and this is the new thing, I think. This whole
yeah,
virtual and the whole quarantine, I predict that a lot of us are going to start, working from home, adapting, the virtual consultations. And I mean, this is not a bad thing either.
no.
There's always something that comes from everything. So if anything, I think this is a positive.
Oh, 100%. Having having the Zoom calls, I like StreamYard, using your messenger on your phone. you can do a lot more in your day. You don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to
Yeah.
go buy some coffee and then you're waiting and they're not there, they're late. So it throws your whole game off, your whole day. Now you could set up an unlimited amount of consultations or interviews or introductions to anybody today compared to what it was before. So I
Yeah.
appreciate and use this
Yeah.
constantly
I
for
love it.
sure.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome.
Is there anything that you have, the Michelle Pais, like non-negotiable, you have to do to make sure your day is on point? Is there certain things? Some people get up early and they do certain routines, sometimes meditation, reading, what have you. What is a non-negotiable for you?
I still prospect. I have this checklist on my phone, right? And I have like a to-do list, and I always put things on my to-do list, and I actually go through my to-do list 10 times a day, and I just start checking things off. So that's my non-negotiable, is that always checking off things off your to-do list, making sure you're on track and you don't forget things. I'm a very organized person, so it's important that I if it's on my list, I'm not able to sleep at night knowing that I've completed that task. And call me OCD, but honestly, it's one of the best advice that I can give out to anyone out there, especially in the real estate agent, in the real estate field. If you're an agent or a broker, like, organization is so important. Again, checking emails. I must check my emails 10, 15 times a day. I'm always checking emails, returning calls promptly. I would it gives me anxiety if someone calls me and I don't call them back within a significant, within a short window. And that's really, my non-negotiables. I'm not the earliest morning person. I stay up really at night. I mean, I was until 4 a.m. last night working. I'm more of like, a night owl. But other than that, I mean, I would just say, organization and, just staying in constant contact with clients and prospecting. I'm still prospecting. I'm still calling people. I'm still, you know, following up with past clients, current clients. Like that's my to do every day, 7 days a week. I don't ever stop. That's something that I've adapted. And I've my husband made a joke yesterday. He was on a Zoom call with the brokerage on a training, and he's like, my wife being in the business for 17, 16, 17 years. I don't even know how long anymore. She's still sending out personalized letters. She's still at night sending out letters. And that's the truth. It's like, I still do these things.
And guys, you ever hear that again in my community? Those are newbies. They've been in the year, maybe years 5 and 6, and you're still heading forward. Michelle's been in for a while, and she's still prospecting, sending postcards, flyers, letters, making phone calls. And I like what you said is communication, calling people back. I call people, and when I was on the road, I would see people with their magnets, and maybe it's a real estate person. So I would call them. So I'm in the car, right? So I'm wasting time. I also prospect. And how many people I would call and they never call back. And I wonder, like, how do these agents even stay in business if that's the case? Because calling and having conversations is so important.
Yeah. Especially when you have a lead. Like, so when a lead comes in, I respond immediately, because you know what, if you don't, someone else will. So I'm really good with that, with just being very reactive to things.
And being organized is so key. Organized communication for sure, and always be connecting. I'm always saying, but prospecting is so key for today. Now, marketing of the past compared to now. Yes, you said you have some billboards. Do the billboards give you a lot of leads, or is that more branding? What do
Yeah,
you
no,
think?
it doesn't. I mean, the leads you get off the billboard are the leads you probably don't want. Right? No, it's not. It's more of just staying in constant contact and people just saying, okay, I remember her, or yeah, she sold my house. I mean, listen, do I get a ton of business from them? No, I don't. It's branding. It's just, I'm a brand builder. Like, that's my specialty. I love to market. I mean, I have a passion for it. And that's just, it's branding 101. You want to stay in front of people all the time. And I'm very strategic in my marketing, and I just don't put billboards all over the state because that's not my target market. I just focus on the areas that I do business in. And yeah, I mean, people see it, they just say, okay, I know her. I've seen her sign. She sold my mom's house. So it's more of like just keeping in front of the client. But for that, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't necessarily go out there and spend thousands of dollars on billboards unless you're a very seasoned agent. Because if you're a brand new agent, you put a billboard out there, no one really, knows who you are.
Yep.
So don't spend the money doing that. I would have other ways of spending the money. I think it's more of like you've been in the business for a really long time, and people just know who you are. Now it's just like, okay, just stay in constant contact. And trust me, I have my face on the billboard. I don't like seeing my face on a billboard. I try not to drive past it, but I also went to a lot of marketing branding classes and courses, and they say, you always want to be personable and you want to be relatable. So you want to kind of, have a personality behind the brand. And that's why I put it, not that, again, I enjoy looking at it. I don't, honestly, but it's something that I've learned a long time ago from one of my coaches. So that's why I do it.
Branding is so key, and having that omnipresence. You're everywhere. Some people are on billboards. Some people are on the carts that go into ShopRite or any supermarket. Some people are on the big signs in the movie theaters. Yeah, remember those things we used to go and sit with other people to watch stuff. Those, of the past. But it's being everywhere now with social media. That's what I've done with video and making sure I'm consistent as hell every single day, doing certain things throughout my day. How has social media changed the game, do you think?
Oh, tremendous. I mean, it's pretty much a free platform. I mean,
Yes.
when we started, I don't know how long you've been doing this, Shawn, but when I started, there was maybe MySpace, I think, at the time. And I adapted to social media very, very quickly. But when I started, there was none of that. So we really had to do grassroots. I mean, my career, the first several years, consisted of me knocking on doors. Like, I would literally canvass neighborhoods and just knock on every door, introducing myself. Now it'd be a little weird. Most people aren't going to open the door to a stranger, but that's how I started. I didn't know. I mean, how else are you going to get in front of people? But social media, people can leverage that. And it's quick, it's fast. And listen, I wish I had that in when I first started. I think it would have definitely helped my business. I would have grown quicker. But the fact that we have like this, Instagram and social media and all these different channels that people can just engage, that's amazing. But there's also a negative to that as well. So that's the positive. The negative behind social media is that everyone has an opinion, right? And it's easy to when you put yourself out there, listen, you're putting yourself out there. You're gonna have people that love you. You're gonna have people that hate you. You're gonna have people
Yes.
that criticize you. So you have to have a very thick skin, because it's very easy to be behind a computer screen and then just comment on things. It's easy to do. It's almost like a shield, right? You're hiding behind that computer screen. So it's not for everybody, but understand that you just have to have a really thick skin and you have to put yourself out there. I think the number one thing that hold people back is fear of being criticized, fear of failure, fear of being made fun of. And that's something that I got to tell you, I'm not fearful. I'm not, if someone tells me no or don't do it, I'm going to want to do it more. Like just how I am. So, you just got to learn to just put yourself out there, because if you don't expect to get to where you want to be if you're continue to do the things that you've done up until now.
Exactly. No, it's important to continue growing. And if you knew the things you've learned and you failed at and you tried over the last 16, 17 years, if you were able to go back to Michelle when you first started, what would be like 2 or 3, maybe 4 things, if you could, would you share with yourself then to make you jumpstart earlier?
Oh my God, this is such a good question. Michelle, back then, I would have, you know what? I think for many, 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 many years, I've done everything on my own. Meaning I was the girl that would prospect, go on listing appointments, input listings, put out the sign. Like, I did everything. So I was exhausted. I was working literally 13, 14-hour days, 7 days a week. and I was just really tired and I burned myself out. I think back then I would have, once I got to a point where, I could delegate certain tasks, I think I should have. And I didn't do that. And I only started delegating, I'm going to say the last 5 years. So for maybe 10 years, I was a solo agent. I was selling a lot of homes a year, but I was doing everything. I mean, I'm talking about putting out a sign with my heels and red bottoms. That was me. And it didn't go well for my shoes, but I'm just kidding. But aside from that, I mean, I literally was doing everything. And I wish I would have learned how to delegate tasks, fire myself from things that, that I wasn't really good at, or wasn't, money producing activities. So that was number one. I think, I mean, that was probably the biggest one. Also, I would take on everybody. So you had a pulse, you were a buyer. And you got a call from a seller, no problem, I'll be there. So I didn't do a lot of, screening. So I did spend a lot of time driving everywhere. And then ultimately, listen, buyers are where they are. They're not very loyal. There haven't been. And so I just spent so much time doing things that I probably could have done a much better job, and just being super hyper focused, and not trying to be all things to all people. I think that was probably my biggest mistake. It just ran me in circles, and it wore me out.
Starting and having systems early on in anyone's career is so important. Just have to-do list and what you should be doing daily, and time blocking. Some people are, this is like a really bad thing for some people, because it's everything at your fingertips, and you should have some time alone. You should have time to reflect. You should have time to think. But a lot of people are just go, 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 instead of just analyzing and making sure people are out there are qualified. Because why would you want to take somebody out if they're not going to be able to buy a property today? That's the goal. If you're an agent, you want to sell that property today, not 3 weeks, 6 months, 9 months down the road. That's okay. There are people that you're going to have to groom and get them to that qualifying time. But right now, that's what you, this time where we are, you have to make sure you're qualified buyers or sellers for sure.
100%.
Now, with personal development, you said you're always prospecting. Now let's go down the personal development realm. I try to do a lot of reading. I try to focus on my health to improve. I think health is so important today, especially mental health. If you're physically staying active, it'll help you with your mental health. What are some things that you're doing with your personal development?
I read a lot as well. I've actually started to read more now, because prior to quarantine, I was exhausted. I was busy, and I didn't have much time, because I'm just so active working in the business all the time. But now I've been reading a lot of books, and it's not real estate books. So it's more of mindset books. And the book I'm currently reading right now is Ego is Your Enemy. Did you read that book?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it yet. No.
Yeah, I think everyone should read that book.
Yep.
That's a good book. So that's that's where that's what I'm reading right now. But I do a lot of just, personal mindset, personal development books, marketing books, all about trying to just become the better version of yourself. As far as health, actually during the quarantine, I'll be honest, it's been the great thing that came out of it is I'm eating really healthy, and I only eat healthy now. So I'm adapting this new lifestyle, which now I have time to do. So I've actually feel so much better, so much energized, a lot more energized. And that's been really, really great. So it's just, you're right. You have to keep healthy here. Also physically, of course, because if you don't have this, then your business is going to definitely, be hurt by it. So taking care of yourself, well-being, taking that time for yourself, I think is really important. If anything, this has taught me to just be super grateful for everything that you have, but also that it can be taken away just like this, right? And just enjoy the private times, enjoy the moments, learn how to balance. So if anything, having more of a work-life balance is definitely something that I've come to do and accept. And I gotta tell you, it's been great. It really has. Yeah.
No, it's awesome, and everyone out there should be developing themselves, because you always should be growing. There shouldn't be a stagnant time or complacency. When you get to a certain level, you're like, there's always goals that you want to achieve. There's always things you want to get in your life, and you don't want to stop. So it's always trying to make yourself better, adding skills that you don't know that you might be able to utilize for business or personal. So important today. So I hope and I push people and hopefully motivate and inspire. Get in front and do different things and try. If you fail, hey, that's it. You move on to the next one. So it's so important for sure today. I appreciate your time. There's so much value in this whole entire live. Is there any final thoughts you would like to share with everyone watching?
Final thoughts. I mean, take I've seen a lot of people kind of put their head in the sand right now during COVID-19, and I have to say something. I was talking to my husband, I don't know, about a year ago, and I said to him, I go, wouldn't it be great if we can just like have the world stop for 2 weeks so we can just relax and just pause and restart, and the world just stops, so we're able to, you know, um, to just focus on ourselves and not be bombarded with all these emails and calls and like all the rat race. Well, be careful what you wish for. But I just think, with everything that's happening, there's opportunity. And I think right now, it's a great time to just, if you're in the game, if you're in whatever business you're in, focus a lot on the business, not so much in it, but on it. And I have been taking a lot of time and just, um, auditing my expenses, auditing my business. I've been just diving deep into things that I've overlooked for so many years because I wasn't paying attention. I just have enough time. And also there's an opportunity for everything. So take it, and there's a reason this is happening, and just don't look at it in so much as a negative thing. If anything, what I've learned is that things can be taken away very, very quickly. So for me, I can tell you that going into, um, once this pandemic starts to slow down, I am definitely going to be more of a work life balance and not just dedicate my entire life to the business, because again, you live here once, you're on this world once. Live your best life, be happy, be healthy, have that balance. I'm also expecting I'm going to be a new mom soon.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's why I'm sitting. I don't want to show my baby bump. Yeah, and so you know what, things are just, they're good right now. It's coming full circle, and I just appreciate it. I'm just really, really grateful, and I think everyone should be that way too.
No, it's beautifully said. And again, I appreciate your time and everything and all the value you dropped today. And if anyone needs anything, please reach out to Michelle. And I definitely appreciate you. And we'll do this again soon in the future. So I hope you have an awesome day.
Thanks, Shawn. It was fun. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.